Hello and welcome to TSK F1. My name's Rich and this is Free Practice 3 Watchalong from the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. How are we doing today, guys? So obviously today we've got Free Practice 3, which is going to start up in about 15 minutes or so. And then in right around, I don't know, what is it? It's about 4 hours time we'll already be in qualifying. So it's an exciting day for everything going on in Formula One. So, how are we doing? Who has seen the YouTube short that I put out today discussing the rumours around Mercedes? Because I think maybe it was a bit of a throwaway comment, but there are murmurings, there are rumblings about whether or not Mercedes will indeed scrap their W14 and switch to next year's car early. It's an interesting one for sure, and I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility given how the rules work. I think it's possible. It looks like it's not raining. It looks like it's extremely windy over in Jeddah compared to yesterday. I don't have any weather data at the moment, but we have about 14 minutes until everything goes green. We do have a poll in the chat, guys. Do you think Ferrari will be faster in Free Practice 3? Get your vote in to the poll. Get involved in the chat as well. The more people involved in the chat, the better. Don't have me just speaking to myself. How you doing, Pascal? Good afternoon. Pascal there, a channel member with his little badge as well, which is fantastic to see. Thank you for being a member. Really appreciate that. So, Free Practice 3. It's not as hot today over in Saudi Arabia as it has been. So maybe we might get some representative runs. How you doing, Gled? Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Hope you're well. So, we've got the poll in the chat. Now, let's just have the conversation. I'm good, cheers, thank you. Let's have the conversation. So, the rumour, and this is a rumour, and you know how I am. If something is a rumour, I'll tell you guys. And let's have a conversation about it and whether we think it's true or not. Now, early in the season, there was it's Ted Kravitz from Sky Sports was saying about a plan B. But really, he was being Captain Obvious because all teams are going to upgrade the car throughout the season. And that was always the plan, right? How you doing, William? Hope you're well. Now, there is a fresh rumour that in the meetings we all know Mercedes had, that the W15 could be out as soon as Silverstone. That in the meetings after Bahrain, that Mercedes made the decision to completely just basically allow the development of what's already in the pipeline for the W14, but completely sort of shift focus onto next year's car. And there might be some, questions around that, which I'll try and answer with my understanding of the rules. But basically, teams are allowed to take budget out of next year's cost cap. So in effect, Mercedes would be saying, right, we can spend X amount of money this year on this car and continue with the upgrades with the W14, but let's switch to next year's car now because we know the direction we want to go in with next year's car now, and let's bring it out this year. Now, this is a thing that's happened in Formula One before, where, well, actually, it used to be quite commonplace where you would have, say, let's say it was Red Bull. Let's say it's Red Bull. You'd have an RB17, and then that would become the RB17B, and then the RB17C, and then the RB17D. And it used to be quite a regular thing for teams to either keep the same car or upgrade the same car until such a time they had the new chassis ready. So, yeah, it was just it was just an example. I was just using a random Red Bull car name. Jace said, I think personally it would be suicide to reveal next year's car too early. I say take the hit this year and continue developing the W15 to make sure it's on point for the start of the next season. This is the thing, isn't it? Now, a complication we might have, Jace. So, here's a thing that I'm not clear on, right? So, they can say this is next year's car and use next year's budget to bring it out, okay? And that comes out of next year's cost cap. That's all sort of squared away and, you know, it's all there. They know that's what they're doing. What if Mercedes bring out the W15 this year, developing it with next year's cost cap, but because it's out this year, they can then say this year's cost cap goes on it because it's this year's car. Does that make sense? Do you get what I mean? So they develop it like, okay, we're taking that budget because it will be next year's car. We're taking that budget to make it, but we're racing it this year, which is this year's cost cap. So once it's made and the chassis is made, can they then divert this year's cost cap onto, in effect, this year's car? Can they do that? I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense with how I'm explaining it. They'd have to make sure they're fast at least 2 years with minimal budget to continue developing. This is why I'm thinking about what I've just said and that whole scenario. Can they make it this year's car and then call next year's car the W15B, you know, once they launch it next year? Honestly, they can make this car much better, but it's going to... Well, you see, can they, Rolando? Can they? This is the thing. Can they? All of the words, but you're saying yes, absolutely, but that's a pretty definitive thing. Like, you can't be so absolute because you don't know. They know what they have to do, but it's more than side pods, of course. But you can't be so absolute because they are the team, and the strong rumour from multiple places is that they're just going to give up on this car. And they wouldn't do that. It's not just the side pods, Gerard. Honestly, it's real. Look. Again, side pod. People are just saying side pods because it's the only thing you see, right? If you change the side pods, you have to change the floor edge. You have to change the engine cover. You have to change the rear suspension. You have to change the rear brake cooling. You have to change the rear wing. You have to change the beam wing. You have to change the rear diffuser. And then forward of that, you have to change the front wing end plates, the nose, the floor fences, the winglets all around the halo, the winglets all around the crash structure, and the side mirrors. If you say change the side pods, you're changing the entire car. Because if you, like, 100%, you could bolt on the Red Bull side pods onto that Mercedes and it wouldn't work. They need to, it's an entire ethos. It's a design, it's a design concept. You can't just do that. Now, the only thing for me is that you can... They'd need to... So, one thing that might have triggered this decision, I think... Again, this is all rumour and opinion, so everyone can have an opinion, but you can't say just side pods, because it's just not a thing. Just to change the side pods isn't a thing. It's everything. You have to change the car. But... I wonder whether they've trusted the data. They've looked at the data. Last year, the data was messed up because of all of the porpoising. That's logical. That they couldn't get reliable data from the car, so they trusted the data from the simulations, and they went with it. And looking at how the car's handling, I reckon there's an inherent flaw with the airflow to the rear of the car, which is creating a massive instability, and they can't drive it how they need to drive it. And that's from watching George and Lewis on board lots, and all of the pre-season. I've watched all of every session, and the rear of that Mercedes is a dog. And I think that is the thing that's confusing them, that it doesn't work. So I feel like what they might have done are two things so far this season. Probably around Bahrain and after Bahrain helped. Like Bahrain helped them get that data. But I think two things. They've got good data back from the car because it's a stable platform. It's not porpoising, so they could get real data back for the first time in a year, basically. And they could check correlation with the wind tunnel and CFD. And two, and this is completely just my thinking, with that, I feel they might have a scale model of something similar to the Red Bull or the Ferrari in their wind tunnel, and they've got data from it. And they've realised they cannot make their car do what those cars can do. And that might lead to them doing something extreme, like bringing out the W15 early. I think they're quite logical assumptions. I don't think they're out there. I don't think they're crazy things to say. I'm not, I don't think it's as mad as people saying Mercedes are going to help Aston Martin, for example. I think they're logical deductions from what we're seeing on track and in the news and in rumours. I think they know what this car that... I think they know with this car that come the end of the season, I guess, they will make it half a second faster if they continued with it, but they need over a second. So that's... this is the thing as well, Gled, isn't it? I agree that they can upgrade the W14. I agree that they can upgrade the W14. And they'll find time, but it's not as if Red Bull are standing still. And I think that's where Mercedes are at now, where they know that their concept, for whatever reason, is fundamentally flawed, and they can't outdevelop Red Bull and their concept because their concept is inherently better, I think. Because I've never seen Toto so rattled. He looks rattled in conversations and all sorts. He looks rattled. Lewis Hamilton's just dejected. I feel that's a thing. I feel like that's a thing. Well, Alexander, this is a thing. I was just questioning maybe before you came into the stream, Alexander. Can they? Well, this is what they can do. They can take budget from 2024 cost cap. They can do that to develop the 2024 car now. They can do that. And they can release that car this year. What I don't know around the intricacies around the cost cap, can they release that car this year and then use this year's cost cap headroom to develop it? Because in effect, it is this year's car, so long as they use that as the basis for next year's car. I don't know. Like, can they make it the W15 and it comes out this year, and then make it the W15B for the start of next season, but it inherently has to be the same chassis? Like, they can't homologate a new chassis. That is the chassis that they have to use. I don't know those intricacies of the cost cap and the rules. I won't lie. I don't know. But I hope that makes sense. And that's the only way I see them being able to release a completely different car this season, stay up with development, and use it next season as well. Now, the big problem they've got there is that... the big problem they've got there is they've got to be right. They've got to be right, haven't they? That's the thing. They must be right with what they do. Because if they get it wrong... that was just one idea. I don't know. If someone does know, I don't want that... What I've just suggested, I don't want it to be opinion on, I think they can do... I don't know if they can do that. But that's the only way I see it being possible. That they can say, we're going to use the same homologated chassis into next year, therefore it's the same car, and that's, as the session has started, by the way, and Stroll and Alonso are out on new medium tyres. It's risky, but don't come without rewards. That doesn't make any sense, Cameron. Sorry, mate. The two fastest teams last year, Red Bull and Ferrari, both had I don't know how you pronounce that, powertrains by far superior EV development compared to any other manufacturer. Do you think that means something then? Are we on, when you're saying powertrains, are we on about the hybrid component rather than the internal combustion component? Is that what we're talking about there, Jace? Because that's a level of granularity I wasn't aware of. It's just an interesting conversation to have. As long as we're all, aware it's a rumour, Yeah. Well, the thing is, look, I think everyone now is off that whole thing. Look, the Aston Martin doesn't look... I've shown on stream many angles of that Aston Martin and many angles of the Red Bull. For anyone to have ever said that Aston Martin copied Red Bull is just... I don't know. It's mental gymnastics I can't keep up with because I've got eyes. But maybe it will, Gerard. That's Formula One, though. The thing is, this is Formula One. Because by the end of 2025, all of the cars will look like something. Whether they look like the Aston Martin or the Red Bull or the Ferrari or what... Maybe Mercedes finds something. But that is Formula One, and I've shown examples of it. I literally went to one random year. I think it was 2002. The BMW and the Ferrari looked exactly the same. That isn't coincidence. It's just Formula One. I don't know what to tell you, Pascal. Maybe because you're watching me online, which is delayed, and I don't know. At the end, but I think at the end, if Mercedes doesn't take such a bold decision and change their concept, they won't be able to catch up since they're so far away at the moment. This is the thing. Can Mercedes develop this car and find time? Yes. That's what they do. But they will know better than any of us how much they can develop that car and how much time they can find. Right? They'll know that. And by this point, I'm positive they will have had a Red Bull clone and a Ferrari clone in their wind tunnel. I'm positive of that. Or at least run some initial CFD analysis on a clone of those cars. And just by the data that they love to follow, they will be able to see, oh dear, we're not in the right place. You know? I think, how far into the season is Silverstone? It is around the midpoint, isn't it? It's around the midpoint, isn't it? And let's not forget, Mercedes were further down I mean, look, I don't know how many hours of their allocation it would take for them to run a Red Bull through the CFD. But I feel like they must have done that. And then they've got their data, and then they can go, oh, bother. You know? Releasing the W15 early just gives other teams the jump start next year. If it's released at Silverstone, it's too late to have any impact. I don't think the intent is the championship, though. That's the thing. I think it's the realization, Jace, that if they don't do anything and stick with the concept that they have, they won't be competitive. They won't be. And they can't be competitive with this concept. And I think they've had that realization. So do they try and make this concept they now know won't work? Or do they just do something extreme and go, it's not going to work. The only way we can possibly be competitive is doing X, Y, or Z. You know? And I think that's their realization, because 2026 is when the next change. If they did it this season, then they've got 2024 to regroup, but with the right concept potentially, and then they can actually go for a title in 2025 potentially, which is a better option. By the way, we just got a good look at that Alpine, and if you looked at that Alpine, that is what I've been saying the entire time, that Aston Martin looks more like an Alpine than it does a Red Bull. Look at the side pods. They're so similar. But anyway. And them having a chance at a title with a new concept in 2025 is much better than knowing they've got no chance until the regulations change again in 2026. Potentially. If you say it out loud like that, okay, you're saying that's years gone. But is that a more attractive prospect? You guys, you can So, we've just seen the Aston Martins go out and do an installation lap on some hard tyres. But nobody's out on track at the minute. So, how you doing, Joey? And indeed, Dean, indeed. It's just to what level they're going to do it and when. Yeah. But I think the only time I'm getting a bit triggered is just simple analysis of it's the side pods, you know. And then there's also the question about what Lewis meant. Well, he's said that he worded that wrong, and when he was explaining it, I've forgotten what he said, but he seemed to be very genuine in what he was saying, that he phrased what he meant wrong. Does that I can't get you the quotes right now because it was in the press conference. Yeah, he still meant sort of they went too far as a team, like following the data, you know. But he did say both, you know. Is there money to be saved by developing the new car on track rather than in a wind tunnel? No, I would say no. No. The wind tunnel is there to sort of aid, isn't it? And be proof of concept. As we're seeing the McLarens out on track with the medium tyres. Well, yeah, they were looking at the rear of De Vries's car, but I've been talking too much and my commentary's that low I didn't hear it. I'm not going to lie. I need to turn it up a bit. Your top three: Alonso, Max, and Stroll. Top three for what, Cameron? Hey, how you doing, Russ? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Your connection is so slow. I'm getting every fourth word you say. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah, I was gonna say, it is you. Everything's good my end. Quali, not for me, not for me, Cameron. We'll do a qualifying prediction later in the qualifying watch along. Has everyone got their what do you call it? Fantasy team locked in. Hey, we've just broke 1,100 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. That's brilliant of you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm really, really excited about the future of this channel, so thank you very, very much for that. I really appreciate it. It's lovely of you. FP3, it started. It started, look, mate. You can see the times on your screen right now. It started 12 minutes ago. The Alfa Romeo's not looking good this weekend, is it? So people are going out onto track. We are seeing people on new soft tyres. Maybe we'll see some quick times here. Thank you very much, William. Alonso with the booster. It's not a bad shout, that. Right, okay, so people think it's close, but people think Ferrari are going to be quicker today. But I'm gonna ask you this. Right then, here we go. There's another poll for you. Will Mercedes release the W15 this year? Yes or no? What do you guys think? He's had many first places. Yeah, it's when the number of votes is like close or something, it messes it up. Piastri goes over the line in a 32.5. Hulkenberg does a 32.4. Gasly's on it here. Gasly's doing a quick time here. No, I don't think they're going to be used in the race, Dean, unless they get some kind of flag at the end, you know, or safety car or something. Someone might dive in and put them on. Gasly, where is he? Verstappen's. That's an actually fast lap. De Vries won't drive. I would say firm no, Russ. I think the only way. I still. I think the W14 is just flawed. But who knows? I'm expecting Hamilton to be closer than he was yesterday. I think they went a direction that wasn't good yesterday. My lord. Verstappen, 0.06 of a second slower than Gasly on the hard tyres. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Russell with a purple second sector there. Russell's about to go top. I don't think the soft has that much of a bonus this round here, though, does it? Hamilton with a purple first sector. Russell goes top there. I think it's about 0.7 hard to soft here. Hamilton goes very, very close. 100th of a second there. Rich, do you think Red Bull have actually got more pace and not using it all? I mean, in certain circumstances, like we heard the radio message at the end of Bahrain, they weren't pushing. But in qualifying, you see what they've got. It's not that they just don't need to use it, do they? But they'll use it in qualifying and stuff. How you doing, Chris? Hope you're well, dude. Leclerc, 8/10 off on those mediums there. Please do smash a like on the stream, guys. It helps absolutely loads. To do so, you might have to just close the chat really quick, hit the like button, and then reopen the chat. I know it's a bit annoying, but it really does help the stream. And also, if you're new here, welcome. My name's Rich. This is TSK F1. I'm live Monday to Friday at 9 AM UK time with an F1 news show. And I'm also doing watch-alongs for every F1 session this season. So please do hit that subscribe button down below and hit the bell button as well. Leclerc, you know, I think the Ferraris are just simply slow. I really do. Piastri. Gasly goes even faster. Gasly goes even faster there on the soft tyres. It's like they take a few... We've seen this, you know. We've seen this, you know. The tyres seem to do better after a hot run, a slowdown lap, and then a hot run again. Most unbiased F1 channel I've found, hence why I'm a member. It takes certain opinions are thought out and logical. Thank you very much, Russ. I really appreciate that. I'm very hopeful about this channel, that it continues to grow, because I'm trying very, very hard to provide something for you guys, and entertainment and news that's up to date and things like that, you know. This is the thing. I think Ferrari are compromised reliability-wise. I'm with you on that, Pascal. I think that given their early season issues, I think they've turned stuff down. Whatever it is, whether it's electrical components, whether it's hybrid deployment, whatever it is, they've got no pace. They have no pace. I mean, maybe we're going to see... I think it's a joke they're taking penalties in the second race, yeah. Now, maybe in qualifying, they turn everything up. Maybe they are in a bit of, I don't know, a rev limited and power delivery limited mode, you know, so that they're putting less stress on all the components. But we have no way of knowing. That is a logical conclusion to come to, though, isn't it? The race will be boring tomorrow. Why is that, Crown Tiger? Yeah. Yeah, that look. This just to anyone who's a Lewis Hamilton fan, this is how it's felt being a fan of anyone else for the last decade. The floor fences themselves don't generate downforce. What they're doing is channeling the air to certain parts of the underfloor in a very direct manner, and how the air is channeled under the floor to the rear diffuser. Hoping to see some more Hamilton and Alonso battles. Through the Mercs are a little further behind. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I have no idea what you're on about, Rolando. I don't know. I've not heard about Red Bull having any problems. Yeah. Red Bull's clearly in trouble. On hard tyres, just faster than everyone. Mental. Absolutely mental. Oh, Max always complains about downshifts though. Like, and when Max is complaining about downshifts, it's more to do with like the diff. It's more to do with like if you downshift too fast, the rear wheels can lock because of engine braking and all kinds of things. So a lot of the time when Max is complaining about downshifts, it's about how the diff is working with the rear wheels as he's downshifting and things like that. So, Rolando, I think you're missing what I was saying. The fences are vertical structures, and their angle and things like that are about how the air is channeled under the floor. The fences and like putting your thumb over a hose, that's more like what the diffuser and the underfloor does. But the fences give the angle of attack of where the air is being channeled under the floor and then affect what you're talking about. The only issue, Red Bull struggling, yeah, basically. I mean, I think this is the thing. You need to watch the race in a different way, dudes, because honestly, like, again, I'm an Alonso fan. I've not watched the racing at the front in a very long time. 2021 was cool, but I've not really watched the racing at the front with any particular detail in years because the midfield battle is where it's good, right? Perez not allowed to battle Max. F1 is a joke. I don't think Perez is fast enough to battle Max, so I don't know what you're on about, really. Perez isn't allowed to battle Max, but he's currently faster than Max. He's on the softs, though. I'm only having a joke. Don't take what I just said seriously. We all know Max is faster than Perez. I was just having a joke. Just having a joke. Calm down. God, I triggered some people on Twitter yesterday. I triggered some people really bad on Twitter yesterday because everyone was really angry that Mercedes put up their what was it, P6, P11. I'm a Max fan, but imagine someone calling me a Max fanboy. Oh dear! Imagine someone calling me a Max fanboy. Oh my lord! That's hilarious. You've just made my day. Bless you, Tiger. Oh my lord. I'm glad I give that impression because that shows I'm unbiased, doesn't it? What's with De Vries's car? New engine, I believe, Dean. I believe it's a new engine having to go in. Your name's bad, Marcella. I'm 100% Max biased. Bloomin' heck. Just watching about De Vries's car. It's taken him about 20 minutes to change the engine in De Vries's car. Don't forget, Max is AKA 2021 fake champion. Well, I mean, it's unfortunate for you, Crown Tiger, but everyone knows he did win the World Championship in 2021. I mean, it must be bad for you 2 years on still dwelling on that, but I mean, he was the world champion. And he is the current world champion as well. It's just the way it is, sir. Or madam. Yeah, 22 looks to be catching them out, doesn't it? It's literally what I said, Rolando. I don't know why you're still saying it, dude. It's literally what I said. The Alpine is looking racy. Are you doing some Googling? I'm baffled at the minute, but okay. Cool. Congrats. I don't know what's going on. Red Bull 5 kilometers faster through the speed trap. Yeah. I think it's apparent, isn't it, that the Ferraris are slower. And well, and the McLarens, but the McLaren's just a dog, isn't it? The McLaren's horrific. It actually is. Norris up to 8th. Still slow in a straight line, though. He's nearly losing 10 kilo. Well, he's losing nearly 15 on Perez in a straight line. Bloomin' heck. That's mad. What Alonso doing? Long runs, currently in P19. Alonso has been on hard tyres for 6 laps. He's done. Alonso's done 7 laps on the hard tyres so far. Mac is lost. What? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought I was thinking you were on about a driver. I was like, who? So everyone apart from Alonso is in the right. Is anyone on a particularly long run here? Piastri was doing 31 ones, seven. No, that's best lap. 1 minute. Alonso's 33 sixes on hard tyres. This year, Glasshead deserves one loud slap. I don't know what you're talking about, Tiger. If you, I don't even know. We've got some strangeness in the chat today. Rolando, no one cares, mate. No one cares, mate. Bloody hell. I don't have the same commentary as you, Alexander, so I've no idea. Is that the Aston Martin lass or ex Aston Martin? I haven't got the same. I saw a news article about it, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't have the same. I don't have the same as same commentary as you. Hmm. Why would I listen to Crofty? God, no, I definitely don't listen to Crofty. Honestly, one of my least favorite commentators ever of any sport. Something going on the floor of Lando's car. Don't know what, but why the Crofty ate? Because he's shite. I think it's because I was brought up with a real commentator and not a rubbish one. Ugh, watching Leclerc on his lap, that Ferrari looks horrid. It looks really porpoising in the Ferrari as well. Definitely porpoising in that Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. Listen. There's stuff going on with the reliability of that Ferrari because Leclerc's always on about his clutch and gearbox and all sorts. It just looks an absolute pig to drive. It really, really does. So, yeah, it's not good, is it? It's not good. No, Murray Walker, the best commentator of any sport ever. Amazing. Okay, so these are just on. Gasly's on fresh, soft tyres, so we might see a bit of a lap here. Well, again, though, I think they're. I do feel like they're compromised. I think they're on a lower engine mode, Jace. Honestly, I think we might see more pace from them later on in qualifying, which I will be live for, guys. Please do hit that subscribe button and the bell notification button down below. I'm one of the people who think Binotto was sacked a season early. Honestly, I think you might be seeing that it's not all Binotto's fault, you know. So Gasly and Ocon are out now. Nothing against Binotto, nothing against Vasseur, but I think it was very easy to blame Binotto. You know? Let's see what Gasly does here, first sector. Slow. I think he was just trying to protect the team. It's a very sort of Italian team thing to do, you know. We're not seeing anyone go particularly fast at the minute. Gasly does set a green second sector, and he does improve on his own best lap there. We've not seen anything from Alonso yet in terms of speed. It is all being long run type situation there. Bottas is just nowhere, is he? Ooh, Ocon had a massive moment where Mick Schumacher had his gigantic crash last season. Big moment there. Big moment. Might be saving tyres. Yeah, potentially. Russell's out on fresh softs as well. For you Mercedes fans. I mean, look, I still think something's fundamentally wrong with the balance for Hamilton. Who's that, Gerard? So Hamilton's on a green first sector there, so his personal best. Russell isn't going faster. New underwear needed for Ocon. Please do smash a like on the stream, guys. It really, really helps. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you are new here, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button down below. Oh no, someone's unsubscribed. See Hamilton go up to fourth now. The commentators I'm listening to are mistaken, though, because they said Hamilton's still behind Gasly, though, because they said Hamilton's still behind Gasly with the time he set ages ago, but Gasly only just set that time. Alonso, yeah, on his outlap on some fresh softs. I keep meaning to look on board with the Mercedes to try and see. I use something else, Glad. Perez with a purple first sector there. Purple second sector. Alonso. There we go. Perez sets a new fastest time. Alonso about 2/10 down. Hulk is up there again, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah, he messed it up, didn't he? Purple first sector for Verstappen. Bottas up to 10th there. We're seeing some quali runs now, aren't we? Alonso goes up to third, nearly half a second behind. Alonso lost time on the exit of the final corner as well. Yeah, my onboards are working, Glad, so that's good. Stroll with a personal best. Albon up to 9th, good to see. Gasly out on some scrubbed softs. So Hamilton is, I think he's on a lap now. He's just done a personal best up to 3rd. I'm just watching on board with the. I'm just watching on board with the Mercedes just to see how the cars are handling, but they're cruising at the minute. I'm trying to take a picture of what I can see. Like that. Here we go. Very likely, I mean, the Red Bulls are just in a different league, aren't they? The Red Bulls are just insane at the moment. Joe with a personal best there into 8th place. Look at where the Ferraris are currently. Piastri up to 5th. Okay, I think Russell's going for it again. I'm just watching him into turn 1 now on the onboard. I know it's delayed, but it looks better than it did yesterday for him. But I suppose he is on the soft tyres. It looks way better. Yeah, they're super fast, aren't they? Super fast this year. Personal best for Stroll there in the first sector. Watching on board with Lando Norris at the minute. Oh. Red Bull literally just cruising along on the racing line there. That's Verstappen. He was just basically sat on the racing line. And Verstappen pulled up alongside Lando Norris to say sorry. The engineers need to be on point telling these drivers when they've got a fast car catching them, you know. Stroll goes third. Yeah, indeed. Wanting to see the Alpine go for it again, honestly, because I think there might be an intriguing battle between the Alpines and the Aston Martins, you know, as Verstappen setting 2 purple sectors there. Very, very fast indeed this lap from Verstappen. 2/10 up. It looks like he's going to go more than half a second faster now. I think he's going to be faster than last year's pole time now. No, he lost a lot of time in the final sector, did Verstappen there, but he was on course to be faster than last year's pole there. He basically lifted off in the final sector. It was still an improvement, but he was much faster. So we're just seeing quick runs at the minute. What's up with Ferrari? We don't know. I think they're saving their engine, but isn't it mad that the gap between 1st and 6th is the same as the gap from 6th basically to 18th? Pretty much from 3rd to 18th. McLaren do seem to have found something, don't they? Hopefully, mate. Ocon's going faster here as well. Keep an eye on this. He only goes a touch faster, but his tyres are reasonably old, I think, now. Yeah, they're 7 laps old. Seeing anyone go quicker at the minute? Not really. Not really. We've only got 8.5 minutes left of this session. I think, you know what, look, if you're a Red Bull fan, congratulations. But I think there's going to be a serious race behind the Red Bulls this weekend. I think... Right, here come the Ferraris now. The Ferraris are out, both on completely fresh soft tyres. So they must be out to do a run here. I think you're going to see a quali simulation. Ooh, I think that was Magnussen nearly hitting the wall out of the final corner. I could be mistaken there, actually. I don't know who it was. Was it Tsunoda, actually? I think the race behind the Red Bulls is going to be really intriguing because within half a second of third, you're going down to 12th. I think there could be some really good racing tomorrow. I mean, obviously, qualifying still to come later on today, and I'll be live for that on the Watchalong, guys, so please do join me. But, so Max Verstappen just using the radio to say his battery isn't recharging fully, so they just told him to go for another slow lap to fully recharge. Leclerc now starting his lap, so let's keep an eye on this. Currently down in 17th place, fresh soft tyres, as we see Sainz coming on to the start-finish straight as well, behind Fernando Alonso. Leclerc has a little bit of traffic, catching Norris in a bit of an unfortunate position here, but I think he's past him. Yeah, actually, Leclerc's going quite slowly there. What about Sainz then? Because Leclerc's not going fast here. Well, no one knows if it's going to, Gerard. Didn't really see that Alonso's doing a relatively long run on these soft tyres. Five and a half minutes to go. Verstappen setting a purple first sector there on 6-lap-old soft tyres. Fully charged battery, but a... It's all very, very close. If you get rid of the Red Bulls, the times are so close. That car's just a different thing, isn't it? Where's Verstappen? Over the line. Sets an even faster time. 0.6 of a second ahead. That's fairly obscene. That's fairly obscene. It's not just Mercedes in trouble, is it? How have Red Bull made a car that quick? Leclerc appears to actually be pushing now. With a green first sector, half a second down in the first sector is Leclerc on what Verstappen set. Keeping an eye on it now. So it's half a second down in the first sector. Sainz is just as fast, so Sainz is half a second down in the first sector also. It's another 0.2 down in the second sector, so that's basically 3/4 of a second down in two sectors. You're going to see the Ferraris around the Aston Martins, I think. Maybe a touch quicker, but I think that's what we're about to see. Oh, big hit through 23 as he goes over the curbs there for Leclerc. Leclerc, 10th. Oh, no. Oh, no. What about Sainz here? Sainz is even slower. He's a good 10th slower. He might be down as low as 15th, 16th here for Sainz. Oh, Sainz actually does all right. He beats Leclerc. My lord. This is insane. This is insane. I feel like we're going to see a faster Ferrari later. I feel like Ferrari are turned down. They must be. And if they're no faster later, it's because they're seriously compromised on reliability. You know? And that they have to turn it down to make it last. They've got to be. I think we still might see more pace from them later. Unless they're trying to do stuff with a setup for the race, you know? But even so, they're still miles off, aren't they? Because it was race pace that they were really struggling with. But even so, they are miles off. Miles off. Got 2 minutes to go. Please do make sure you're hitting that subscribe button down below, guys, because I will be live for the qualifying watch-along at about 4:45 this afternoon. Russell's onboard has just turned on. Indeed. Sainz and Leclerc's top speed is so low. Russell's leaving the pits on some soft tyres. I think they're all doing practice starts at the end of the pit because I'm just watching Russell go through a tyre warm-up procedure and then he's parking up behind the Alpine at the end of the pit straight, as I'm also watching Fernando Alonso come out of the pits. Yeah, everyone's lining up at the end of the pits for practice starts right now. There's a big line of about 4 or 5 cars. So I don't think they're going to set times here. I think they're just going out for practice starts. What happens if over half the teams put cost cap in the bin? They all get punished. Race for 3 to 10th is going to be great. I'm on board with that, Dean. I think for Red Bull fans, congratulations on the victory and for the 1-2, unless they have some kind of disaster. But the race from 3rd to 10th, I mean, look at it. It's 0.4 of a second. That's insane. Well, it's basically 0.3 of a second, 3.5, isn't it? It's very, very close. Who you on about now, Gerard? You're giving me half sentences, you mate. And that is the end of the session. Merc versus Ferrari and versus Aston. I think Alpine are going to be in there, Shiv. I think Alpine are going to be in there, and going off that, McLaren might be somewhere near. Who knows? Ferrari have just gone a little bit faster with Leclerc there. He's put himself into the mix. It's been a middle order race for years, to be honest. I mean, 2021 was a bit of an anomaly, but last year was really, because Ferrari, I think people like to tell themselves Ferrari were close, but they weren't for a long time, really. It was Verstappen. Verstappen won the title at a canter. I mean, they might turn up the engine later on. We'll have to see, won't we? We'll have to see. The results of the poll. Will Mercedes release the W15 this year? 62% of you said yes, interestingly. But there we are, guys. That is the end of the Free Practice 3 Watchalong. I'm going to be live for the qualifying Watchalong, which will be in just over 2 hours' time. At 4:45, I'll be live for that. So please do join me for that. Please do subscribe down below and hit that bell button. And I'll see you in about 2 hours, guys. Thanks a lot for joining. I'll see you soon. Cheers.